And it looks like we're live. All right, so welcome to my stream. So this morning, I don't have a lot of time. So what I'm going to do is actually show you what I do when I practice throughout the day. So one of the things that I do is an approach called Pomodoro method. So the Pomodoro method is where you take like a certain amount of time to work, and then you take a little bit of a break. And you do that over the course of however long you're working. So for myself, when I am working during the normal workday, I will do 50 minutes, 50, of intense work where I will be very focused, and then I will take a 10-minute break. On that 10-minute break, I might stretch, I might do some yoga, I might go and walk. There's many different things that I can do while doing that 10-minute break, but the point of it is to basically help relax my mind and just take my mind off my work. So when I go back to the 50 minutes, I can then resume working really hard. Now, one of the things that I will frequently do on that 10-minute break is actually practice the drums. And so that's how I can get in the hours throughout the week, is by taking a break throughout the day to just like work on something. Now, you might be thinking, okay, 10 minutes to practice the drums, that's not really a lot of time to sit there and work on something. Yeah, that's true. But if you do that throughout the day, multiple times, then it really will add up. So it's a very intense 10 minutes of focus work, and then back to my actual work where I'm making money. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I do that with some of the resources on my website, and specifically in relation to tenor sweeps today. So on the website, which you go here, free drum lessons and exercises, change the name of that, and let's go here. And then I'm going to pull up a timer on my end, so that way I can do 2 sections of 10-minute breaks, and then I have to head out to do some stuff for the day, so I won't be drumming much on this stream. Okay, so I'm going to set a timer right now, and so what I'm going to do is scroll down to the technique exercises, and I'm going to do diddle variations, and I'm going to do an exercise called rodeo, which is a variation on gallop, and I'm going to scroll down. And what you want to do is find a tempo where you can play through it comfortably. So for myself, I'm going to do this at 80. So I'm specifically I'm woking up right now. I'm specifically working on the tenor sweeps. And so I'm going to focus on the technique and whatnot. So let's do this at 80. So I'm going to do down the drums. So to the outside. Oops. My bad. All right. Now, if you have not warmed up and you don't want to like mess up your hands by playing too fast too quickly, when in these like focus sections, what I'll honestly do is just go really, really slow and just focus on the technique while doing this. So I'm going to play through this again, and this is going to be at 40, and then I'm going to do 50 and then 60. Okay, so this will allow me to not have to worry about having to be warmed up to play, and allow me to focus specifically on the technique of the diddles while I'm doing this. So I want to keep everything nice and open, where it's going to rebound back up on each one of the diddles while playing the sweep. Whoops. My speaking messed me up. I wasn't paying attention to the tap off. So now let's go back down here. We're going to speed this up. So again, only have 10 minutes to work on it. So we're going to be very focused with what we are specifically working on. Now I'm going to narrate out loud some of the things that I'm noticing while I am playing. Hopefully that gives you a sense of like the things that you might be able to work on with your own playing or pay attention to. So what happened there is I almost played the second line to start for some reason. I don't know why, but that's what my brain decided to do. So I'm focusing on my placement. I don't want to be huge motions like this. I want it to be small motions. So the least amount of effort and energy as possible. And again, speaking messes me up. I will get better at it. It's gonna take time. Wow. I haven't woken up yet. Which that reminds me. So one tip that I highly recommend if you're preparing for an audition is to practice as soon as you wake up, whatever the hardest thing it is that you have to play. And the reason why is because when you actually go to an audition camp, like if you're flying out to audition for like a drum corps or something, you are, odds are, not going to have the best sleep because you're probably going to be up, like staying late, up drumming with people and whatnot. So when you actually get there and you start performing, you're not going to be at your best mentally. So it's really good to practice what it's like when you're at your worst. So if you wake up, as soon as you do, as long as it's not going to annoy anyone else in your house or around you, just start practicing the hardest thing you can as if you're at the audition. One of the things that I also did, because I live in Arizona, is it's really warm here, I was practicing for auditions for somewhere where it was much colder. So I'd actually go outside in the wintertime, which is when like the auditions were, and then start practicing as soon as I woke up in the cold, so that way I could get used to what it was like when it was playing with my arms being nice and cold. So I highly recommend simulating whatever the environment is going to be like in the worst case scenario when you are practicing for an audition. So that way when you actually get there, you'll be like, I'm prepared for this, as opposed to going, oh wow, I'm really tired, I'm not going to do well. Instead, you'll go, oh, I'm really tired, that's cool, I've already practiced my... Instead, what you'll do is go, okay, I'm really tired, but I've already prepared myself for this by practicing while being really tired, i.e. when you just woke up, or even like right before you go to bed. So a little pro tip for you. But I've got only 3 minutes left, less than that, so I'm going to do 60. And maybe I got time for 70. And then I'm going to show you one more variation of how I practice when I've only got 10 minutes. And again, I'm only doing the down motions right now, so I'm just focusing on one thing. Bad attack. A little close on the left. The first note of the diddle is too close to the rim. Sped up. Hands are even. Focusing on the second note of the diddle. It's too quiet. And a little rush. Just enough time to actually, play through this again. Expand, please. And so we're going to do it at our original tempo of 80. I think it started. Yes, okay. Let's see if it's any better in that 10 minutes of practicing. Ideally, yes. Oh, wow. Best followers, primes, and viewers on something. Not going to name it. Cool. First time chatter. Wow. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, you got banned. Wah, wah. Oh, what I just realized is that it's actually streaming my desktop audio, so you're probably hearing a slight timing delay. Ah, that's disappointing. I'm so sorry. Okay. I'm going to show you one more way that I can practice if I've only got about 10 minutes to work on something. So let me go back here, and we're going to go to technique exercises, and we are going to do slow, fast, slow. Cool. And I want to find a tempo range that is about 10 minutes. Okay, so 140, this should be okay. Oh, well, there's about a 5-second timing delay in there. All right, so let's do this one. So we're going to do 150. Close enough. Okay, so slow, fast, slow is an exercise where it starts at 40 beats per minute, and then it goes all the way up to whatever the highest beats per minute is, and then it goes back down to 40 again. So make sure you can see this in all its glory. 1080p. So we're going to do this with Around the World, which are tenor sweeps. Where you go. Then you go back the way you started over here. And that's where it repeats. So left, 3 of them. Then to the right, 2 of them. You repeat it again. I can't speak while I'm doing this. 2, 3, left, left. 1, 2, 3, right, right. 1, 2, 3, left, left. 1, 2, 3. So slow, fast, slow is amazing for making it so that you can just say, hey, I've got X amount of time, like in this case, 10 minutes. I want to just sit here and work on one thing. So in this case, I want to work specifically on tenor sweeps, on 2 strokes, moving across 2 different drums, and speaking is messing me up. But this is going to start very slow at 40, and then get to whatever a breaking point speed is, and then slow back down again. So this is great for working not only on chops to push your hands to play faster, but also for working on technique. So ideally, the way that I'm practicing right now while going slow is going to be the same when I'm playing fast. And we'll find out when we slow it back down to see if it still feels the same or if I have a change in my technique. So I'm trying to focus on making it so that my wrists don't turn over and I don't move my shoulders excessive amount. Trying to mess up while playing caused me to mess up even more. So I'm focusing specifically on the wrists to make sure I don't flip over into like a French grip, which some tenor lines like to use for their tenor grip. I personally do not. To each their own. Different affordances and constraints for any kind of grip or hold you're going to use on any percussion instrument. Some are more right or more wrong depending on what you're trying to do. There's not a universal one that is the absolute best one for everything. So for instance, I use mainly wrist approach when I am playing, and it's great for a big, bold sound, but it's not great for playing fast. Finger technique is better for playing fast, although you certainly can play fast while doing wrist. So on some stuff, you'll see me actually change my technique slightly to play a little bit faster. in general, it's all wrist. And so for the tenors, this stroke of playing with the wrists in the same position and not using a finger approach will give me a bigger sound, more power behind the notes than if I were to play with finger. But with finger, I could play faster. I've also noticed for some finger players, there's a tendency to lose your sticks. If you hit a rim or hit your sticks, they can fly out of your hands faster, but if you watch some of my other streams, I certainly lose my sticks quite a bit. It's amazing how time flies while working on this. We're almost halfway there, which means we're probably about 4 minutes right now into it. This is going all the way up to 150. Okay, so once it gets to 150 right here, it's going to hold it for 4 measures. And then it starts to slow down right here. Sorry, speaking keeps messing me up. And you know it's slowing down because it gives you a lower pitch instead of a higher pitch to indicate that it's going down. It's interesting, it's an inconsistent air with my left hand. So I'm trying to keep a nice, relaxed hold on my sticks, but I'm doing that, and it's slightly messing up my placement, as you can hear with all the clicks. So this gives me data for what I can work on next time. So again, this is only 10 minutes I have to practice, so I'm specifically focusing on one thing, which is just this one motion, and I'm going slow to fast. And while I'm doing that, I'm taking notes mentally and going, okay, the second note of my left-hand diddle on these crossovers is not great. Going too fast. And so what I will do on the next 10-minute break is specifically focus on that left hand, because I'm already midway through just focusing on one thing. So the best recommendation that I can give if you have a short amount of time, like if you're taking the Pomodoro breaks, is just set a goal for that 10 minutes, work on that goal for the 10 minutes, and then anything else that is an error that pops, just kind of mentally or literally write it down, and then come back to it on your next 10-minute break, so that way you can work on that next time. can't hear the metronome. I should have turned up my speakers louder. I'm noticing the second note is not perfectly in time. It's kind of got this stutter like this. I'm over-exaggerating, but... So I'm specifically focusing on that timing of the second note while trying to stay relaxed without over-emphasizing the notes. Slightly too fast. So this exercise, even though, again, I'm just doing it with the tenor sweeps around the worlds, you could do this with, like, flam drags. Just sit there and play flam drags for 10 minutes. And then on your next 10-minute break, maybe pick a different rudiment. Or set it for, like, up to 160 or something. And it'll start at 40. There's also another variation of this called fast, slow, fast that does the opposite, where it starts fast, goes all the way down to 40, holds it at 40 for 4 measures, and then goes back up to whatever your starting tempo is. Again, I can't hear my metronome. It's kind of a problem when it's changing every 4 beats, and I'm trying to talk while doing it. This is how you work on tenor sweeps. No, clearly not. Okay. Cool. So, very short stream today, but I got a lot of stuff that I got to go do, which is why I jumped on really early. But hopefully this gives you some tips for some things that you can work on. I don't know when I'll be on next. It will most likely be on Wednesday, and I'll probably be playing Fortnite with Neuro, which their channel is here. So, check them out. Anyways, hope you all have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you later.